And we do welcome you to the C&C Auto Show. I am Aaron Clements here with Jamie Bridges.
Good morning.
And good morning. How was your week?
It was long.
It was long.
But
We always ask each other that whenever we come in. How was your week? David.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anytime you get to help people, man, it's always great.
Heck yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that we talk about, all
That's
the things that you did during the week that helped people a huge amount with their insurance type issues, having to do with car repairs, inspections, and all those other things that you do.
I think we all three have really unique opportunities to help people as we're, serving people in our jobs. Because, I mean, like you doing the mechanical. I mean, you get somebody that comes in, their car's broke down, you're helping them work through that problem. I called you on Thursday night because I pulled in from the house and my tire was flat.
Aw.
So, you got to tell us what you had to do with that thing, David.
So I go inside and I get back from my trip, and we're fixing to take trip to baseball.
Yeah.
And Hazel Grace to ballet, and I walk outside and they're like, "Hey, Dad, your tire's flat." And I'm like, "I just got back from Alabama. How is my tire flat?"
What an inconvenience.
So I go out there and I'm like, "Man, okay." So I don't have a pump in my garage, like a pneumatic pump or anything like that. I've just got a bicycle pump. So I hooked up my tire and I bicycle pumped that thing. And I mean, I had my arms wore out. When I got enough air in it, I backed it up so it would push down on the metal piece that was in the tire that we saw. And I pumped it up some more, and I called Aaron. I said, "I got to bring my truck to you first thing in the morning." So I was here at 8 o'clock getting it fixed.
So that's our number one tip for today is to buy one of the little electric tire pumps. And we have them at our house because of experience and things like you did. I said, I'm going to get one of those things. So just they a lot of different places. You can go to Advanced Auto Parts and they sell them, or you can get one online or whatever you do, but have one that's you can get them with just a rechargeable type kind.
Yeah. My wife and kids were sitting there laughing at me. I look like one of those cartoon characters that were blowing up the tire. I was sitting there pumping it. I'm out of breath, like dying on in my driveway.
A quarter of an ounce
if
time.
any of our sponsors, if any of you have like one of these pumps and you want me to be your spokesperson for it, send it to me. I will use it and I'll brag about it.
All right, first tip: get a battery jump box and one of the little tire
Get the tire
inflators, and you'll be fixed up. Okay, so that's the first tips of the day of the C&C Auto Show. We got a lot more that'll be coming up because we are here to drink coffee and talk about cars and have a good time. And we have if you have a tip that you want to share with us, give us a call, 800-224-9090. And also, if you have a question about your car, your truck, your SUV, you can call the same number. You can listen on your favorite station, or you can go over to ccautoshow.com and watch the show. And that comes from Kingdom Web Pros. And there's a lot of other things on that site. You can also watch us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just pop over that way, and iHeartRadio. There's a lot of different ways you can watch. Let's go ahead and lay a tech tip quiz hat on the table before we get cranked up good.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Bill and Susan were riding in a 2017 Volvo XC60. They were both dressed up really nice, and a pair of nylons saved their lives. How? And if you know the answer, give us a call. 800-224-9090. And I see David really looking at that real close. You're trying
to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that you will. But while we're waiting for that to come to you, let's talk about a picture that you sent to me last week. Let's see here. It was a picture, if I'm not mistaken, of a Corvette that was it's a beautiful, beautiful Corvette. We have it on the screen, but I'm going to describe it for those that are listening. It's a beautiful, new-looking Corvette, very
that thing looks brand new.
Late model, yeah. And it's on a lift rack, and part of it is in the air of the lift rack. The other end is hanging down from the lift rack. In other words, it fell off the rack. What happened, David?
So I got tagged in this post on Facebook. I had somebody who tagged me in it, and so the customer had gone to get an oil change at their dealership. Imagine that. We've heard this story before, right?
So this is at
this
a
is
GM
at
dealership.
a GM dealership. So he goes and gets his oil changed. He goes home with his car and notices it's leaking oil. So he looks up underneath there. He sees where it's leaking oil. He takes it back to the dealership. Yeah. They put it on the lift, and this is what the outcome is. So, his car is totaled right now.
Can you imagine that phone call? Hey,
that
Mr.
did total
Customer.
it out?
There's no doubt that that's going to be a total loss.
This all gives me a chance to mention the cross-check method.
When I first saw this is exactly what I thought about with Aaron with cross-check and how the importance of preventing a catastrophic event. Like this started off as a simple oil change, which is probably a little over $100.
Yeah.
And now you have turned something in that's going to cost you $100,000 plus because you just didn't make sure the oil wasn't leaking before you gave it back to them. So
if one step in that cross check would have been taken, boom, that car never would have had to come back. It never would have come off the lift rack. And that is sad to see.
And not only $100,000 in his car, but this is all over the internet right now. Like this thing is floating heavy, and then imagine what the customer's going through. I mean, that was like the lady
sick to my stomach.
I had the lady, that went in for the recall, and her they were replacing that wiring harness. They had her truck up, and it fell off.
Yeah, I remember that a couple months ago.
And totaled it. So I don't think this is an uncommon thing at dealerships. I don't know why they have cars that just fall off lifts randomly, but GM, you might want to look into your lifts in your dealerships.
Well, I will mention that is something that I do a risk management class for a company, and I do that once a month, and that's one of the things I mentioned. Have your lifts inspected, look at the concrete all around it, make sure there's no cracks, look at the feet, make sure the locks are working well. Very important is lift rack safety, and that word to go out to all the other shops out there because I love risk. Ready to go to the calls?
Let's do it.
I love risk management type classes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's go over to
Rich.
Rich, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Good morning. How you doing?
Lovely.
Fantastic.
I'd like
Jamie?
Good. I would like to try to answer the tech tip quiz.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on one second. Let me get you on stage there. We got you. And the question was, Bill and Susan were riding in Jill and Susan were riding in a 2017 Volvo X60, and they were both dressed up nicely, really nice. And a pair of nylons saved their lives. Rich, all eyes are on you. What is the answer to today's Tech Tip quiz?
Well, I learned years ago that a good pair of nylons makes a good temporary belt in case one of your belts break on the engine, and I think they use those nylons for that.
Oh, wow. That's I'll see what the judge says. Oh no! Oh, Red. It really did actually save their life. Now, of course, that would get them out of a bind if they had. It was an interesting question to do that. I'm trying to do away with this mental picture I have of all that going on, but at the same time, it would be interesting to see, but it wouldn't save their life, actually.
Okay, well, it actually works. It was fun trying.
It was. Hey, thank you. We will start with Randy. Randy, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Good morning, Aaron. I want to try to answer the tech tip.
Oh, my goodness. We're going to need to put you on stage first. And Jill and Susan were riding in a Volvo, 2017 Volvo XC60, and they were both dressed up really nice. And a pair of nylons saved their lives. Randy, all eyes are on you. What is the answer to today's Tech Tip quiz?
I was thinking that they were wearing their seat belts, which I believe is made out of nylon material.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see what the judges have to say about that.
Let's go, Randy. Let's go.
All right. And actually, David did mention that during the break. I said, David, do you have an idea what that one is? And he said, yes. I think that would be seatbelts.
Jamie looked at me like I was crazy. She's
Well,
like, what are you talking about?
You said Aaron's talking about nylons. I was like, who's standing out there on the side of the road taking their stockings off? So he said nylons. I was thinking stockings. I wasn't thinking about seatbelt material.
Well, you are absolutely right. They were in an accident, and the nylons were the seatbelt straps. And nylon or polyester is used for strength, and it also sort of absorbs the energy during the impact to a small degree. And the first 3-point seatbelt was introduced by Volvo 70 years ago.
Wow.
Today, Volvo estimates that seatbelts in its vehicles have saved more than 1 million lives.
And they released the patent for free.
Oh, they did. I
Yeah.
didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome
Yep.
information there, too.
They build the safest vehicle
Mm-hmm.
year in, year out. Like they
Yeah.
have the #1 safety rating.
Yeah.
So,
The drivers don't drive very fast, so you normally get behind a Volvo and they're not going real fast. That just kills me. So
is that why they're so safe, Aaron?
yeah. So when I pull up to a stoplight, if there's a Volvo there
I'm
You're
moving
on
over.
one thing, I get in the other lane. All right, Randy, you're a winner. That's off the subject a
There you
little
go.
bit. And we're going to turn you over to our fine producers in there, Mason Rogers and Donna Lopez, and they're going to get you, and Trip Clark.
There you go.
And they're going to get you squared away. Thank you for answering the quiz.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next caller. We will go over to Glenn in Graniteville. And Glenn, welcome to the C&C Auto Show. How can we help you?
Good morning, sir. I have a 2018 GMC Sierra 3500 with the Duramax diesel engine,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing a lot of research on what kind of potential fuel additives to add to help with lubricity and potentially, mileage gains.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you all
Hot
would
shot
recommend on that?
secrets.
Yeah, that would be Hot Shot Secret. David has used some in his.
Oh, yeah.
And I've used some in mine. And yes, it does exactly that. It adds to the lubricity of the fuel, which can make fuel components last a lot longer. And they also make some great stuff for freezing cold weather, which I think we're done with that for a little while.
Done.
But yeah, Hot Shot Secret, they it's sold at a lot of truck stops and just parts places, and just a great product.
Hot shot, and it's a secret?
Yeah.
It was a secret until Aaron blabbed it on the
was.
radio.
We're giving it away.
Hey, we had a bottle of that around here
I
somewhere.
took it with me.
Oh, you
It's-
did?
It's
That's
for
right.
my truck.
It was a
so
free sample.
That's right.
Yeah. It's gone now. But yes, Hot Shot
Thank
Secret.
you very much.
Oh, thank you. Great question.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the number to call, 800-224-9090. And, David, I think we got a sensitive subject that we were talking about a little bit, and I hadn't brought it up that very many times because I'm a little concerned that it may be something that some people or some technicians may be against, but there's also a lot of them that would be for it. And that would be licensing. And our conversation started because I think there's a bill in Maryland that is that's on the table, and they want to have technicians that will be recalibrating ADA systems
Yeah.
licensed. And I said, I have been a proponent of that in the automotive industry for many years, but I don't get that many people as excited about it as I am. I think it would be good for the industry. I think a technician that works on a vehicle should have a license, not one that costs a huge amount of money and not one that you have to take a test on each individual item, just a very basic test or just a basic agreement to say you are willing to learn the environmental aspects on how to keep the environment clean. In other words, dispose of oil properly, antifreeze properly, all of those things, and that you're willing to take roughly 28, 30 hours a year in training on whatever part of the vehicle that you want to train on, and safety issues on how to keep cars from falling off of lift racks, things like that. So I've been for that for many, many years.
I'm all about it. I think, well, I'll say this. I'm about having licensing if there are good inspectors. that'll go back and check it, right? Like if I'm just paying for a piece of paper and nobody's checking it,
right?
Yeah,
then it's gonna be just blowing money, right? But if there's actually some accountability to make sure people are using the right tooling, they're doing the right training, and they are performing the repairs properly, like I think that's necessary in today's environment for the cars that are being fixed. I think there are a lot of people that are getting put in unsafe vehicles every day because we have no license. I mean, the crazy part about it is to be a beautician, you got to have a license, right? To be a welder at a job site, to weld, a building together, or train tracks together, like you got to get certified, right? You got to do all those things. In collision, you can weld the side of a car in and nobody says anything.
Yes.
And it's like, are you kidding me? And then you got, with all the ADAS stuff, I think that's where, to me, I thought it was great that, hey, we're gonna say you got to have these certain tools based on what the manufacturer says, and you've had to go through the training to do it properly, because you can make anything calibrate as long as you set the target in the right spot. That doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
But so I think there is a.
So when you calibrate, you just move the target.
Just move the target to make it hit the make the radar hit it.
Yeah.
Like
false positive.
Yeah. So I think it's a great thing. I think more shops, more industry associations need to get behind it. I think consumers need to look at it and see what's there.
As long as it wasn't turned into something just to make money, like you
just
said,
a money grab,
and make it very affordable and easy for the person getting it. Just very simple steps that most anybody would agree to, and that's a small amount of training per year.
But I think now, Aaron, I have been most impacted because I've got my old diesel truck that I drive.
Yep.
These fuel prices are crushing me.
Yes.
Crushing me. And I think you got a story of a lady that got crushed.
Well, she was really upset. I mean, it's a lady in Los Angeles, and she was really ticked off after she filled up her 2017 Mercedes, and it cost her a grand total of $107 at a Chevron station, and that was $8.21 a gallon. And part of that, you got the fuel issue going on right now, but also California uses a friendly fuel blend that's really only refined in California and certain Asian countries. Plus, you add to that the nice tax that California sticks on their fuel, and you have some very expensive gas. Now, I'm assuming that this was a gas-powered vehicle, which $8.71, so that makes me wonder what in the world diesel was going to be selling for if they had diesel. So I'm not sure of that. I'm going to have to do a little research on that. But fuel price has gone up. I mean, we're going to all have to learn to conserve and do what we can, not only for the country, but also for our wallets, because it's going to be kind of high. I expect it to go back down, and it will. But for right now, I think just making sure you do the very basic things. People go through this every year, keeping your tire pressure in what it should be. I like to run mine a couple of pounds, 2 or 3 pounds, a little higher than what the little placard says. Because my car seems to drive better, but also the tires last longer and the fuel mileage is a little bit better. So tire pressure, just doing all the things like if you do for a maintenance tune-up, have that done. Oil does play a part in fuel mileage. Keep your oil changed, keep your maintenance up. Not only will your gas mileage be better, but also your vehicle will last longer, your tires will last longer. Just everything falls into place if you perform that maintenance. And conserve trips. I mean, instead of making 5 trips at different times, have your little list and say, hey, I'm going in that direction and I'm going to do these 3 or 4 things while I'm out.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, like I said, I was as I was going to Alabama last week, we were talking about last Saturday on the show how much fuel prices were, and I hadn't been paying a ton of attention to it. I knew it was going up, but until it started to hit me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like cold water.
So we were under $5 here in Augusta on diesel, but by the time I got to Alabama, it was $5.10, $5.15. Yeah. And thank God for Buc-ee's. So if anybody from Buc-ee's is listening, thank you for that store in Alabama that was under $5 for diesel. And, who couldn't not go in there and get something to drink and something to eat and something else. So,
oh, yeah, you got to go in Buc-ee's and look around a
what I
little bit
saved in
anytime you
fuel
go.
price, I probably spent inside the store, but it was worth the experience. Like,
You
I
got to
felt
come
good
out
about
with
it.
the barbecue sandwich.
That's right.
And not to mention, you got a chance to experience one of their very clean restrooms.
Oh, yeah.
That they have.
Now, Aaron loves a good bathroom at a gas station. So.
Yeah. No, the thing at Buc-ee's, their door goes all the way to the floor.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And then what's that? What's the one up in Thompson that's got the nice showers in it?
Oh, that was a Gas Pro.
The
there.
Gas Pro.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was a Gas Pro. What?
Oh,
did a
you
Gas Pro?
talking? No, that's a TA.
Is that a TA?
Yeah, it's
the
a
one
it
that
was
we
a-
did.
Yeah,
The
it's
one
a
we
truck
did the
stop.
remote at?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
okay.
TA.
And they got the Froster's Freeze.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember the Frosty Freeze.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good remote. We had a good time there.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of remotes, let me go ahead and mention this. We have a car show coming up next week. Springtime's here. Car shows are out there. We got a remote coming up. It'll be next week. It'll be at the C&C Automotive Thompson location. The CSRA Mustang Club and Ford Club will be having a car show at the C&C Automotive location in Thompson, Georgia, and that'll be from 8 to 2. Always a great event there. I think this is actually their second annual one that they'll be having there, and we plan to have a good time. Food trucks, a lot of Mustangs and Fords, but also all cars are welcome. Now, the main reason I'm mentioning that because wherever you're listening to this show at, whether you're in Texas or Alabama or wherever, Los Angeles, wherever you're listening to the show at, there's probably a car show near you. And car shows are just great, fun, family entertainment. You can go there, you can see other people that loves cars, meet some of the nicest people in the world, and see some beautiful cars and get a chance to show the kids what cars used to look like. And that shows that love of cars to the kids. It kind of passes it along.
Yeah.
So great thing. We got a fair amount of car shows coming up.
Tripp is an old soul, so he loves old cars when we go.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And just the old music. Look at him. He got a thumbs
Giving
up
a
back
thumbs
there.
up there.
He loves it. So, the only thing about this time of year when you go out in Augusta,
The pollinating.
the pollen is out. So you just got to know it's going to attack you, and the cars are going to constantly be wiped down as you're going through.
This is not a great time for a clean car in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget to attend some car shows this
Yeah.
year. A lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about this one. This was a deal where police in Alexandria, New Hampshire, reportedly tried to confuse Waze users by posting multiple fake speed trap reports along the same road so that the drivers would not know which alert was real and they would stay slowed down longer. Now, a lot of people complained about this. They said it's kind of like tricking the people.
Well, quit speeding.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, that's
You
what the
can't talk
police
about that to Aaron now.
Well, no, I'm not a whole lot better. But
Well, the police response was that they said even though it was a little bit shady, it accomplished what they were looking for, and that's to get people to slow down. That's what they were looking for. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, you used to, as you would pass somebody, there was a cop there. You flashed your headlights at oncoming traffic. You flashed them to notify everybody, and that was the kind of signal that you gave everybody.
You don't want to get caught doing that anymore.
I don't know that anybody does that at all.
Well, that's also something I mentioned that there's a little controversy involved, but I personally think that they should raise the speed limit in many places. I think, I think when you have to go way above the speed limit just to keep up with traffic or either get hit in the back, I think it's time to raise the speed limit. And like the other day, I was coming to work. There was a police in front of me, and I was going at least 10 miles over the speed limit to keep up with him or her, whoever was driving. And so, I mean, everybody's going above the speed limit when you're going down the road. So why not raise it?
Well, Florida just did vote to raise their speed limit to 80.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 80. I really think
they're going to run 90.
So
I think 90 is more reasonable.
God, 90 to 95 miles an hour.
You got Grandma from Ohio flying down 95 in Florida at 80 miles an hour. That's terrifying.
Going straight to Disney. How fast can we get down there now if I can run 95 miles an hour?
That's what it is.
My wife would lose it.
Uh-huh.
If I'm doing,
David, slow down.
yeah, if we're going and I've got it set on cruise and it's running like 83 or 84, she is freaking out. Like, what are you doing?
It's all
now,
relative.
Now you'd only be
if
3 miles
everybody
over the
around
speed
you
limit.
is going the same speed, it don't even seem like you're going that fast. I mean, and they do now. I mean, that's most cars that are driving down the road are somewhere between 80 and 90 if you're on the interstate, of what I see. And if you're in Atlanta, it's more like 95 to 105, right around in that range.
You just got to have a second driver in Atlanta and get that that carpool lane and just kind of cruise on through. You don't get run over.
Get a couple mannequins and shove them in there.
So I don't see any problem with raising some of the speed limits. The cars are built better. The cars are built for that type speed. They're very safe at that speed. They get good gas mileage at that speed. Like some vehicles don't even shift into the last gear until they're 70 and 75 now.
But see, the problem isn't the cars; it's the people that are driving the cars.
Well, that's why we're gonna go autonomous.
Yeah, but that's the problem. You have some of those people that they want to be cautious and only drive the speed limit. So they're going 60, and then the rest of the world is going 80. That causes a problem. If they knew that the speed limit was 80, then they'd be keeping up with everybody. But some people just said, "Oh, if that's what it says, I'm not going to over that."
Oh, I don't know. That only works when you're doing 80 and not playing with your cell phone or reaching for your whatever that you dropped on the passenger floorboard, or if you're focused, then okay. But all it takes at 80 miles an hour is a split second of you not paying attention.
It's over.
And then catastrophe.
If you bend down to get your cell phone, it don't really matter if you're going 65 or you're going 90. You're going to have a problem regardless.
But people do stuff like that.
All right. I would like to ask about is everybody's opinion having to do with cars from China. It seems that Canada was very open for letting vehicles that are made in China come in. But in the beginning, I think a lot of Americans were pretty much against that part as far as cars coming in from China for many reasons. One is cars have a lot of cameras that are made in China. More than likely, any of that information that comes off of that camera will be going to China. So you pretty much can map out the whole country with that. I think they went through some controversy with that with some of the drones, DJI drones, when they were selling them. Now, I don't know what the outcome for that is. I have a DJI drone, so I can't really say anything. So I guess they're getting pictures from that also. But I guess the question is that something that we think would be a good thing, is to have vehicles come here from China? And according to a study released last week by Cox Automotive, 40% of consumers support Chinese automotive brands entering the U.S. market. 76 said they would support it if it was coupled with a U.S. company. So I'm not sure. I'm a little bit on the fence. There would be some benefits to vehicles made in China entering the market, but also there would be the possibility that it would have a very negative effect to the U.S.
I don't know. I mean, I think competition's always good. I think if, you bring it in, obviously, I think with the tax credit right now, if you buy something made in the U.S., if that tax credit is left in place, it keeps U.S. companies competitive, right? Mm-hmm. Even if they bring cheap product in from China. Mm-hmm. I think it's still got to be in the same regulation. I think, in those countries, they get away with a lot less strict regulation on car safety.
Exactly.
Than we have. So they'll have to increase their game. So if they do that, what does their actual car price become? Like those are all unknowns like we don't know about. But I don't think competition is a bad thing.
No.
And their cost of labor is much less so. A lot of the U.S. companies, when they're building a car, they have to abide by certain standards for the labor workers that are out there, have to pay them a fair wage. They work a certain number of hours per week. And from what I understand, that the rules are not the same in China, to where they make a lot less money. They work more hours, and there's that would make it to where they would be able to build vehicles at a much lower price. Now, would the tariffs offset that? A lot of moving parts in there that it would be to discuss.
But in the next 10 years, are we really going to have auto workers out there? You know, we keep hearing about all these robots inside of these manufacturing companies that are building cars, right?
Yeah.
Like we just talked about Hyundai having the robots down in Savannah. So does in 10 years from now, just think about it, 5 years from now, what does that look like? So when you start talking about an even playing field of like labor hours and stuff, if everybody has robots running around, what does that do?
So earlier this week, I went to do. I drove to Atlanta and did a tour of a manufacturing facility for one of my vendors. And we're walking through the manufacturing facility, and they're starting to implement robots, and then they're getting more and more in. And you know, that was one of the questions, because the owner of the company is the one that did the tour. It was a fantastic tour, and one of the questions that he was asked was, "What is going to happen to your actual human workforce when you add all of these robots?" And he says, actually, you know, the more robots we add, the more people we add, because, you know, they're only doing the menial tasks. You know, you have to move a 45-pound part from here 3 feet that way. The robot's doing that, you know, but somebody has to reset it. Somebody has to babysit it. Somebody's got to fix it. Somebody's got to make sure the programming is correct. So in their company, it's not going to have a detrimental impact. It's actually saving their guys' backs, or, you know, from
it's gonna be
doing
better
the same.
health.
Yeah. So I guess it depends with the robot thing. But with the Chinese cars, we walk around with cell phones tracking us. Half of our electronics probably come from China. So if they were going to spy on us with cars, they're already watching everything.
That's a good point.
Everybody's got TikTok.
Your shoes are coming from China.
I mean, you know,
all they got to do is put a little thing in your shoe and track where you're walking around.
I'd never know. Got my little grain of rice size tracker in my soul.
There you go.
But no, I mean, it's, you know, it's give and take. I mean, it's, as far as the robots go, somebody's got to build them and fix them. So
That's right.
All right. Well, I think we'll be seeing more of things like that in the future. Okay, David.
Yes, sir.
This is a little bit geared towards some of the things that your wheelhouse. Legislative changes. Oklahoma is reviewing a bill to raise the salvage title threshold to 70%. Additionally, a federal catalytic converter and anti-theft bill has moved to House Committee on Energy and Commerce. How will that bill having to do with the salvage value affect consumers and collision repair shops?
Well, cars are totaling right now at a lesser. So in Georgia, there's no set threshold. Like a carrier can fix up to 100% of the value of the car before they total loss it. In Florida, the insurance company actually sets the threshold. It's not even set by the state. If you go to South Carolina, it's 75%. So every state's a little different. But you don't even see, I see more cars now that'll be at 50% of the value of the vehicle, and they'll total it because they'll go ahead and start getting salvage bids on the car to see how much they can obtain if they sell the car. And it's a better business decision for them to total the car. So there's a lot more total losses out there because they look at, hey, what am I going to pay for the repairs? What am I going to pay in loss of use? What am I going to get back on salvage? All those factors come in. So, what I'm seeing more and more of, and the more conversations I have every day with total losses, are from people that are in bad financial situations in the cars. And we talked about this last week, where the interest rates are so high and they're so overextended into these cars, and then when it totals, they've still got $2,000 or $3,000 to pay off of. So now, my car's totaled. I got, the loan company has been paid X amount of dollars, but I still owe them $2,000. I've got to go buy a new car. So now I got 2 car payments I'm making, and I got 1 car. So I think I don't believe a car needs to be fixed up to 100%. I think that's crazy. Yeah. I think if you're fixing that much of the car, it needs to be totaled anyways. Yeah. If you can't get diminished value, like it's crushing you with that wreck history on the car. So I don't think it's a bad thing putting thresholds and having a limit.
But I think it's good for the consumers to know all this,
Yeah.
to not purchase a vehicle if they have to. If they have to purchase a vehicle and finance it for the length of time that someone's financing it for, be aware that if you are involved in an accident and something happens to that vehicle, it could cost you a lot of money. But also, when you're purchasing a vehicle, see what the value is going to be 2 years from now. I mean, is that how much is that vehicle going to drop in value in 2, 3, 4 years? Because that'll make that's like straight money to you.
Well, even on a total loss right now, people don't realize how much their cars are worth. I had a lady yesterday call me on a 2013 Honda Accord that had 200-something thousand miles on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She thought she was getting a good deal. I ran it. They're actually underpaying her by $2,000.
Really?
Yeah. So so they offered her 6. When I looked up the values and found the comps, it was 8 is what she was owed. So
Don't put them out.
Yeah, I mean it's substantial, so you should always get a second opinion if your car's totaled.
We got other things to talk about now too, but we're also taking phone calls, and the number is 800-224-9090. If you have a question about your car, your truck, or SUV, give us a call, and we are here for you. We will love to answer, and we're able to answer collision repair questions, insurance type questions, trucking questions, and automotive questions. So give us a call. That's what we love to do. And we're just sitting here drinking coffee, talking about cars. And you could also watch that. I mean, it's there. Just go to facebook.com/CC Auto Show, or you can go to ccautoshow.com. And at that spot, you can not only watch the show, but you can see where different events are playing. And there's a lot of other stuff there. All of those things are brought to you by Kingdom Web Pros. They're an awesome place that can bring your business to the next level.
Yeah, Gary and them do a fantastic job. I love they help me with my website.
Yeah,
and they help every month with different blogs that we put on there and just tips for consumers. So yeah, if you're a business or business owner that's looking for somebody to help you with your website, they are the guys to reach out to.
Yep, they've done good, and they got a lot of new stuff coming up. Let's go to the calls. We'll go over to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Well, good morning. Jeff's here also.
Oh, good morning.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Good morning. Hey, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Long time no see.
Yes.
I know.
We enjoyed the visit.
We did.
Was that last week?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think it's been 2.
But we enjoyed that very much. It was nice to meet you. And just to give the listeners a little background, Jeff and Elizabeth, they came down from Colorado, and they visited with us, and we just had a great time. Very nice visit, and we appreciate you doing that.
Hey, Aaron. I just had a thought. You had a previous show talking. I think it might have been a tech tip quiz, but you were talking about a Toyota Highlander hybrid that had around 200,000 miles, and what's the most important piece of maintenance that you could get done, considering the mileage and everything. And my ears perked up because my son has exactly that. So I appreciate that, and I'm going to be taking that in pretty soon for the belt.
Yeah,
so,
Thank
you.
Evidently, on that particular one, I may have been talking about a timing belt, possibly.
Okay.
And and I'll mention in the beginning now, not all vehicles have timing belts, but if one does have a timing belt, it's very important to remember to change it when the manufacturer recommends to change it, which is usually, I see them as low as 60 or 70,000 miles, but 90% of the vehicles now are at least 90 to 110. But it's all in the owner's manual, and of course, the owner's manual now. You're talking online. you can just ask Chat or what is it, Gemini now, and all the others when they recommend replacing that. But that's a very important thing, and I think I mentioned during that time that what gets forgotten is people remember the first one because the car only has 100,000 miles. You say, wow, everything's great. I'm going to make sure I do this and this. But when it hits that 200,000 mile mark, a lot of times people forget it. And then they got a beautiful car that could last on up there 300, 350, 400. But it gets pretty much totaled out because they forgot about the timing belt and it locks up the engine and causes problems. So I appreciate you mentioning that again.
Yeah, so that was really good. Although my son is off in Spain right now, but so it's a good time for me to get it replaced. But we really enjoyed coming to your shop, and I enjoyed seeing the DeLorean there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it also. I remember the picture you took of the DeLorean, sitting in the DeLorean.
Hey, send us a group picture that you took.
Oh, I will. I sure will do that. Thank you for reminding me of that.
You're welcome, and thanks for the prize pack. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You both have a great weekend. Okay. It's always good to hear from them.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. If you have a question about your car, your truck, your SUV, you give us a call, and we are here to answer those questions. Let's speaking of tech tip quiz, let's lay one on the table.
Yeah.
Put it on there.
All right. Susan did something that did not cost her anything, but it helped her fuel mileage by 30%. Free. Didn't cost her anything. What was it? And if you know the answer, give us a call, 800-224-9090, and we will hear from you. And this is one that is a little tricky also. We're talking about all these little tricky type things that happen in the automotive world. But what happened here? And this was this has happened before, and I'm sure it's happened to a lot of other automotive repair shops. And it's a big question of what should you do? And I would love to have y'all's opinion and listeners' opinion. All right, customer calls. They said, yes, I would like to have a crankshaft sensor replaced. How much does it run? And this one was a little bit more expensive. I didn't forget the year, make, and model of the car. I remember talking to the person very well, though. She said she had talked to the service advisor, and the service advisor gave her the price on putting a crankshaft sensor in, and she said that she had her own crankshaft sensor. And so the service advisor said, now there wouldn't be any warranty on the crankshaft sensor. And how do you know you need a crankshaft sensor? She said someone else diagnosed the car and said that's what it needed. And she said, well, she told her that we couldn't give any warranty on the job or tell her that or promise that that'll fix anything because we hadn't diagnosed. Well, she wanted it done. She put the notes all on the tickets and read them off to the person beforehand. Well, she called back 2 hours later after the car was done, and this was like $300-$500 or so. She called back and said the car cut off again, and she said, "Well, what?" She said the crankshaft sensor didn't fix it, and the service advisor said, "Well, we didn't do any diagnostics," and so the service advisors know that if they have a problem, they don't argue back; they turn it over to me. And I talked to the person, and they were really upset because it didn't fix the problem. What do you do in situations like that? A person, and this is what I told that person. I said, sometimes people get mad if they have their own part and they've done their own diagnostics, and we don't do it. And then if it don't take care of the problem, then they get mad also. So it's a tricky deal.
I think if you're going to DIY, then DIY.
Yeah.
Right. But don't come into my business and tell me what I need to do to fix your car.
Yeah.
And then going to give me the parts. Like, you got a business to run, right? Like, do you make money on parts that you sell? Absolutely. But you know the quality of the parts you sell. You're going to diagnose the problem to make sure you're addressing it properly. So, I mean, for me, that's like going into the doctor with it, and I got to have a transplant of something. I'm going to say, I got my own cadaver over here.
I brought my own kidneys.
I don't need you to tell me anything that needs to be done on me, and I want you to put this in me. And then when it doesn't fix you, then you say, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Like that's
well, that part,
I
even
don't know.
taking that completely out of the picture, because I mean, there's ways to around that and ways to do it. But the main thing is you take a person who would have had good thoughts about your company, and if something goes wrong, they have bad thoughts about you. Even taking the money completely out of it, we want to do quality work,
right?
And if you using a part that come off of Amazon, you may or may not be able to do quality work. And that don't mean all the parts off of Amazon's bad. They got some great parts, but some may be good, some may be bad. Let's go to the calls. We'll go over to George. Hey, George, welcome. I say that. Let me try one more time here to go to George. Now we're going to George. Welcome to the C&C Auto Show. What can we help with?
Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Aaron.
Well, thank you for calling.
I'll have a question about timing belts and timing change.
Mm-hmm.
And I know belts change them roughly 100,000 miles, more or less. And you guys have done several for me in the past, and we'll do future timing belts. Mm-hmm. But I recently purchased an automobile with a timing chain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a premium automobile, would be classed, it's 18 years old, barely 100,000 miles on it, but there was no record of a timing belt, and my genius went and asked, we need to change the timing belt in this thing and water pump and get that done. They said, but that car doesn't have a timing belt, it has a timing chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a LS Lexus 460.
Mm-hmm.
And so your thoughts on the timing chains and keeping it working properly. There's nothing wrong that I'm aware of other than it's 100,000 miles on a timing chain.
Yep.
And so I want to fix it on my time, not its time when it breaks. I want to fix it before.
Well, actually,
so that's the reason of my call.
Well, actually, you're the type of person that'll probably not have problems with that timing chain, because it sounds like you wanting to take care of your vehicles, and you will take care of your vehicles. And on most vehicles, now this is not all, because some vehicles do have some weak spots in the timing chain area, but not that vehicle. But on most vehicles, if you keep that oil changed with the proper oil, good full synthetic oil, and change it on a good regular basis, not when they recommend on that vehicle, I recommend every 5,000 miles. If you were to change that oil every 5,000 miles, there's a high probability you'll never have to touch that chain. Now, on vehicles that do have a reputation of timing chains acting up, and there are some, you would normally change those if you hear any type of noises inside the engine in the timing chain area.
Funny you mentioned the oil in the manual that I got. This 18-year-old car had its manual in it. Mm-hmm. It says 020 or 5W30. Either one is recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts?
5W30 in this climate. Now, if you were in really cold climate all the time, 020 would be fine. But if it's giving you the preference between the 530 and the 020, that's what I would go with. Jamie, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, with it being warmer here. I mean, if it has the pneumatic tensioners or the hydraulic tensioners, that's where the oil change recommendation comes in. You keep that oil changed.
And I would go with the full synthetic oil.
Yeah, I've done that forever on my company cars and never had an issue with 35 years of driving various cars.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5W30, I didn't even look. I'm almost embarrassed to ask. This does have a spin-off filter and not one of those cartridges, I assume. I should have asked. I bought it, and that thought on me when you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming it's a spin-off filter. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe it does. Now I'm gonna mention some stuff with the canister filter while you're there, just in case it does. But those canister filters on a lot of the Toyotas and a lot of other vehicles, a lot of domestic and Asian vehicles, have the canister type filter, and there's a little plastic housing. People need to be very careful not to over tighten that plastic housing, because they can crack real easily. And then also make sure that the O-rings are on there properly and the oil filter seats in that canister properly, because of some of the problems that they had with those. Just do a good inspection, and if that filter housing has any wear at all, go ahead and just get another little housing to make sure it don't crack later on.
Yeah, I actually read an article about that very thing, that the person had thought they were doing great going to an aluminum, replacing the plastic, but go back with the original plastic filter, torque it to the 18 pounds, and it'll outlast the car. But don't, and the O-rings that you mentioned. So anyway, thank you for your call. It's helped me a lot. I feel a little bit better about this car, and because I do the things you mentioned.
Well,
5,000 miles, I do it.
I can tell you now that that Lexus, beautiful vehicle. Yeah, beautiful vehicle. It's going to last you a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Number to call is 800-224-9090. If you have a question about your car, your truck, your SUV, you give us a call, and we can jump right in there and answer those questions. I think we got time to go through this real quick. The war in Iran is likely to cause the oil prices to rise, but still nobody's talking about the electric vehicles out there. They're dirt cheap now. You can get these electric vehicles, just dirt cheap. And even though the gas prices has gone sky high, people still not buying a lot of these that are on the market.
Well, it's something, they're still relatively new, and it takes a while for people to trust something.
You're being kind.
I am. But, I mean, the other thing is, who's going to work on this? If you have a problem with your electric vehicle, where are you going to take it for?
Well, I mean, we do work with electric vehicles. I mean, there's a lot of people do work with them. It depends on how intense you go.
That's
I mean, if you're going to rebuild the inner workings of the units, then you may not. But just normal maintenance and things like that, a lot of people do that. The classes the classes are available to learn to work with the EV cars. It's just the demand is not there. People don't want to charge up their vehicle and do it. I'm already charging my doggone watch, my phone, my this, my that, my headset. That I don't want to charge
something else
my car.
to plug in.
To be driving here in another year.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
It's absolutely terrifying. So Michaela called us during the break and is informing us that Jamie doesn't allow her to drive.
Well, Jamie had it on speakerphone. Kayla said, "When am I going to get to drive? When will I get to drive?" I think that's great.
Because she wants to drive, so she's a very motivated individual. So she wants to, as soon as she can drive, she wants to get her license and drive. And so as soon as she's done with high school, she wants to run off to college. And she has all these goals and things, so she's taking steps towards her goals. But she thinks that I'm hindering her her driving. But she wants to drive more, and I probably should be letting her drive more.
But I think that is a good thing because so many kids now, I mean, you'll see them 15, 16, 17, they have no desire to drive a car.
Yeah.
And like she is ready and she wants to drive. I'm hoping she'll call in so that we can discuss this a little bit further.
Grace will be 14 this year.
Yeah.
And she's already started to prep me and her mom she started prepping me in the car the other night. Well, Dad, I get my learner's permit next year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we even talking about that? Like that's not even need to be part of the conversation. And
then sweat started forming on your forehead.
Geared up, ready to drive.
It's such a weird thing, watching your kids grow up and then become more and more individual,
independent.
Independent, and they're. I don't know. It hurts a little bit, I guess, because that means I'm getting older.
Well, we definitely are getting older, Jackie. There's no doubt about that.
Speaking of driving, Ford CEO Jim Farley said that Ford will continue to make Mustangs with manual transmissions. So you'll know.
I think that's necessary. I think people that own sports cars that are real enthusiasts with drivers.
Yeah.
They want to be able to shift gears. They want to be able to control that transmission. So
what they do most of them do the paddle shift now. I mean, if they're going to shift gears, they just take their little finger and.
But there is nothing like driving that.
Slamming it in gear.
Manual transmissions are not what they used to be anyway. You don't hear that click when you go in and that heavy, you got to pull it extra hard and jam it in there and all that stuff. That's not there anymore.
So I can remember driving the little Toyota Tacoma shop truck on Aiken Augusta Highway and learning how to drive a straight drive.
Yeah.
And I was going out, pulling out on Aiken Augusta Highway, and that 4 lane's moving anyways, and you get hung up in the gear. Trying to grab the gear, trying to make sure I don't get run over by folks like Aaron running 90 miles an hour down Aiken Augusta Highway in the Tacoma. But I learned quick how to put that thing in gear. But it would bark at you when you didn't put it in gear too. So
grind up the gears. So I think manual transmissions are good, but I think there's going to be very few of them. You're not going to see that many because, like I mentioned, they just love the paddle shifts. And if you go manually shift, they consider manual a paddle shift. So that's what most kids now consider manual.
If you're a consumer out there and you want to see something funny, is take a straight drive vehicle, a manual shift vehicle, into a repair shop today and watch everybody panic.
Yeah.
Because barely anybody knows how to drive it. And so it just like shuts the shop down. I mean, I love it when I go in a collision shop.
Oh, my God.
Car's sitting there in the service lane and they can't get it around to the back.
Can you imagine sitting there with your car, your baby, and then you see it jerking past the window?
You're looking for the one person in the shop that knows how to drive it.
Yeah. All right, moving to the next one. Lucid is working on a 2-seat robotaxi that will compete with the Tesla Cybercab. More and more robotaxis. These things are getting more and more. And
not going to get me in one.
More cities are starting to. You'll end up getting in one before it's over.
Eventually.
I might get one in 2 weeks. I'm going back to Arizona, so maybe
try
I
the
Waymo.
Then we have Wave, Uber, and Nissan are working together on robotaxis. So there's going to be a lot of them out there. And the next item we'll mention. California is headed with exotic cars hiding behind Montana plates. And a lot of these things come from show contributor Jim Pate. He helps us a lot, helping me with some information. I want to say thank you. California's had it with hiding behind exotic cars or hiding behind Montana plates is what they're doing. You can buy tags a lot cheaper in Montana for exotic cars. And when you're talking about a $1.2 million vehicle and the sales tax is 7-8%, you're talking about $70,000-$80,000 that you could save by just going over the state line and getting a tag in Montana for $2,000 or $3,000. So you can save.
Well, I've been watching that YouTuber out of Tennessee fighting with the state of Tennessee in this Montana thing too. So,
well, you got. Like here in Georgia, it's 7% here, but if you go across the line to Carolina, it's $500 cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. And if you can avoid it altogether in Montana, then, why not? You register the car to your LLC and just good to go.
Well, California, they have charged 14 people with crimes for doing that. It's something to do with tax evasion or something like that. And they've started using tag scanners to track the people down that are doing that. If they're scanning for Montana tags, and if they check the Montana tags and find out they got a California address and the car's been there, then they're charging them with crimes. So that could be a big problem.
Yeah, only if you're a rich person trying to avoid taxes.
Well, I mean, if you got a $1.2 million car, you're probably pretty rich.
Yeah.
So what's 70 or 80,000 K there? Not a big deal.
Drop in the bucket.
Yeah, drop in the bucket. Okay, next item. Not another Waymo story.
Yeah.
We got our Waymo story here today. Waymo sparked a media frenzy when one of its cars accidentally killed a beloved bodega cat. I didn't say that right. In San Francisco. And that story was reignited when a robotaxi ran over a small dog some weeks later. and there were no human fatalities. No person got hit, but I mean, it killed a cat and killed a dog.
No.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, but well, the Robotaxi didn't feel bad about it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure not. But
yeah, I didn't even know. I wonder if there were people in the taxi when this happened.
But see, that leads into if it can't see the cat or the dog, and I understand that these are small animals, but what if your 2-year-old child ran out into the road? That's a little bit bigger than a cat or a dog, but still a small creature. Is the Robotaxi going to see them?
We have those same accidents that happen with people.
Yeah.
Every day. That, how many people hit dogs and cats every day?
Oh, leash your cat, dog, and toddler.
Yeah. So, it's, I don't know. I think it's all going to depend on how the ADAS stuff continues to evolve. I think those are making awareness better in the cars. I'm still not a huge Robo, Waymo, whatever kind of driver without a driver in the car. I don't like it. But it looks like it's becoming the fad.
Well, Tesla's going to be building more and more vehicles without the steering wheels or brake pedals in them. I mean, they're being produced now. And so you're going to have a choice. Do you want to buy a vehicle with a steering wheel and a brake pedal or without a steering wheel? What if you could save $5,000 on a car if you bought it without a steering wheel and brake pedal?
No. Not getting it. No, ain't happening. I don't know. I want to control the car. If I'm in it, I want to control it. There's just way too many variables. It's not.
Well, you can't help but think about, now this is a little small comparison. They quit putting dipsticks in transmissions because people would either overfill or underfill. In other words, they would rather it not be touched and it lasts longer. So you're not able to check your transmission fluid. And that's the way they're looking at the drivers. You're better off not touching it. Just get in. And,
well, you're too dumb to do this thing, so we're just going to take it from you.
Yeah.
Is that what
exactly,
it is? Yeah.
So let's just take control over everything in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
You just become a robot.
One more little EV deal going on. Of course, you can't help but cover some of the EV's a lot of the news now. Things to do with EV and what's happening in that department. And, of course, last week we talked about, week before last, we talked about Ford took a butt kicking on EVs. They took a huge loss. Now Honda will take one this week. Honda just canceled all of its upcoming electric vehicles, and that will lead to a $15.7 billion loss.
Billion with a B.
B.
Yeah.
That's a kick in the shins, isn't it?
I hate saying I told you so, but I told you so. I sure did.
Hitched our cart to the wrong pony, huh?
Yeah, they did. That's what the Ford, Jim Farley said. Yeah. He sure did. Okay, and speaking of Ford, we'll talk about a Ford recall. And
Ford's at it again.
Well, a lot of recalls. Now, in some ways, I realize that some of these companies do have a lot of recall, including Tesla. They're showing a lot of recalls. But in other ways, I look at it, they're wanting to repair their problems. If they have a problem, they're willing to jump in and say, hey, we got a problem, we're going to fix it. More than 600,000 Ford vehicles are being recalled due to faulty windshield wipers.
The blades or the motors?
The motor.
Okay.
Yeah, Ford's recalling certain 20, 21, and 22 Explorers, Escapes, Lincoln Aviators, and Lincoln Corsairs because the windshield wiper motor may fail, preventing them from working properly, which I guess that could be kind of bad to be riding down the road and boom. And of course, most people know, get your VIN number, and everybody knows this too. It's located in the left bottom corner of your windshield, driver's side of the windshield, or the door plaque. Just open your door, and it's easier just to snap a quick picture. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to keep that picture on your phone. And that way you'll have the manufacturer date and the VIN number of your car. And you can just go to nhtsa.gov/recalls, punch it in there, and it'll let you know if your vehicle's due for a recall for something. And it's good to keep track of those because there's some big safety recalls that could make a difference on your car. Okay, next thing, well, this will be more of a little unusual type deal to mention. A federal judge has prohibited off-road vehicle use in western Mojave Desert, which is a critical habitat for desert tortoises across California's conservation lands. And it protects more than 2,200 miles of proposed routes across 1 million acres. In other words, they don't want the side-by-sides and the dirt bikes
tearing up the turtle.
Yeah, messing up the turtles. And I don't know. I guess that's...
Well,
you got 2,200 miles out of 1 million acres.
Yeah,
that's nothing. You still got room to ride.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
The turtles were there first. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Jamie's for the turtles.
Turtles trying to turtle.
Gonna wear turtle shirt next week.
Save the turtles.
All right, this one is in David's wheelhouse again. Senate Bill 227, requested by State Colbeck, would establish a statewide minimum damage threshold requiring insurers to repair vehicles unless repair costs reach at least 75% of the vehicle's cash value. David, good or bad for the consumer?
I think it's good. I think there needs to be a standard. Like I said earlier, like states are different. I mean, if you look at just where we're at, like South Carolina, Georgia, Florida are completely different.
Yeah.
Like there's no consistency. I think with getting something that's more consistent, it just becomes better for consumers. So just don't make it 100%. God.
Yeah,
that would be at that point, you might as well be just rebuilding it from the ground
rebuild
up.
total losses every day.
No.
Now, does that mean that they would have to? They of course would have to total it out if it's over 75%. But can they have the option of doing that if it's say well under that? Say
they can
50 or 60. They can say, hey, I would rather total this.
Yeah, I mean there are tons of different situations where you'll run into constructive total loss situations where maybe a part's not available. During COVID, that was a big thing where we couldn't get seat belts for Honda.
Yeah,
and they were just, again, my wife hates it when I say it, but they were on intergalactic back order. Like you never knew when they were going to come. And so insurance companies, I mean, it would be a small wreck. The seat belt would deploy and just be stuck. And so they just totaled the car, paid the customer out, and the customer went on.
And I guess they didn't have a choice. If you can't get the seatbelt, there's nothing else to do.
I can't give it back to the consumer.
No, and you know what? I'd rather them total it out than be stuck in limbo forever waiting on a seatbelt to show up.
I mean, I had an Alfa Romeo the other day that I was helping a guy with. It was hitting the front end, and the radiator support on it was on back order, and they could not give us an ETA on when it was going to be done. And so the insurance company totaled it because, I mean, his car would just be sitting in a shop for months and months and months, and you never know.
Yeah.
So,
and by the time, I don't know if they were paying rental car or not, but by the time you pay rental and storage and all the other things that go with it, you're actually much cheaper. They pay less money to go ahead and total it on out.
And he was still going to have to pay his insurance premiums.
Yeah.
I was sitting there on a car he wasn't driving.
The whole time.
So,
ready to go to calls?
Let's do it.
All right. We will go over to Jim. Jim, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Wondering if you got any wrong or right answers for your tech tip quiz.
We were waiting on you to call in and give us the answer to that bad boy. Is that what you're going to do?
Well, I walked away for a couple minutes, and I thought I might have missed a call, but nobody wants a warmed-over tech tip quiz a week later, so
That's
I'll
true.
at least try to get you a wrong answer for
that. Fair enough. We're going to put you on stage. And the question was, Susan did something that did not cost her anything, and it cut her fuel mileage 30%. And what did she do? Jim, all eyes are on you. What's the answer?
Susan got organized. All she had to do was properly orient her travel by perhaps 30% or more, and or adjust her speed and coast up to those traffic lights rather than try to be the first one there when it's red. Easy on the gas. Any number of things combined would cause her to not spend a dime but save a few quarters. What do you think?
Oh, Jim, I'm not even going to wait on the judges on that one. Yeah. Oh, they won't quit. They keep going. You made that crowd happy. James, you're absolutely right. My wife's going to kill me for mentioning this, but I used to tell her that when I'm riding with her, I felt like I was on an aircraft carrier on a ship taking off. I mean, and then coming, doing a circle and hitting the tail hook.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, whoo, and you're not going but like a half a mile, and you're going to stop again.
Yeah.
Or less than that. So, I mean, it was boom, boom.
I
know I'm
trouble now.
I am up the creek. But if you drive like that, you could save a lot of money by going ahead and just not doing it. And I mentioned that I like to go kind of fast down the interstate. I don't try to get there quickly. I just kind of build up to it. But when I'm there, I don't see any problem with 90 and 85, 90 and stuff like that. So adjusting your driving habits it's the taking off quick and the stopping quick that is causing a lot, that can take a lot of fuel. But James, you hit on one of the main things. That's organizing your trips. Just thinking about your day on where you need to go, what you need to accomplish. And if you do that, make a little list, then you'd be surprised how many trips you can save from having to run back out. You know you got a birthday party tomorrow or 2 days from now that you need to go to. You know you got to buy a birthday present and a card. Mm-hmm. So instead of making a special trip out to do that, just go ahead and do it while you're out anyway doing other things. So great answer to the tech tip quiz, Jim, and we appreciate that. And we also appreciate some of the content that you give us from time to time.
Definitely.
Very nice of you.
I think some of that stuff's just interesting, especially the one with the cars being registered in Montana. I think it said somewhere further in that article that they were going to start using the highway cameras to start looking for exotic cars with Montana tags and maybe expedite that, how shall we say, identification of folks perhaps misusing the registration stuff. But
I can tell you now that a lot of people do that between Georgia and South Carolina also, Jim. That's because of the tag situation here. So, hey, we're out of time. See you next week with more of the C&C Auto Show.